Welcome or welcome back.
In today's video, we're doing 1-star reviews with books that we've read. They don't necessarily have to be like 5-star reads, but
Some of the books that we love to be delusional about, like we know they're not perfect books, but we choose not to see the problems. So we're gonna dive into the reviews of the people that do see the problems.
We'll just react to what they say.
So our first book, this is like a 5-star read for both of us. It's A Court of Mist and Fury.
Let's go to
Goodreads.
It has a 4.64 on Goodreads. That's like so high. That's crazy. Oh my god, there's 10,000 ratings that gave it 1 star. Okay, let's see what this person said. I almost tossed this down and discussed 5 times while reading this book. I knew going in that it was going to be a massive act of
revisionism
with regard to Rhys, the villain of the first book. And as someone who loves villains in the Persephone myth, that could have been something I could have gotten behind under the right circumstances. But I wasn't truly prepared for narrative gymnastics that this book would perform to try to redeem him without really making him do any legwork. By the end of the book, he's still a sleaze lord, only now he's a sad sleaze lord in leather pants who was actually the heroine's soulmate all along.
Spoiler alert.
Soulmate and all along an all-around nice guy. Pop a fedora on his head and he's probably middle-lady his way through the night court.
A half a star? This was a buddy read with these awesome ladies. If you think I'm being unfair in this book, it's all kinds of awesomeness. Jenna's your girl. And if you agree with me that the series is being overhyped for no apparent reason, Mary is our girl. First of all, this is marketed as a high fantasy. You've got to be kidding me. Brandon Sanderson and J.K. Rowling are somewhere sipping their tea laughing at this bullshit.
Okay.
Okay, I can agree. It's not high fantasy. I've skimmed through the entire book. A Court of Blah Blah is boring as hell. Characters are so infuriating and tiresome. They possess no unique or remarkable qualities. Quite on the contrary, actually. I think we are all agreed, just plain wrong, if a middle-aged man tries to get into a teenager's pants. That is our gripe with the books that are marketed this way. I call this erotica for children. It's not really erotica, but okay. The writing was monotonous. I don't even want to think about this. Plot, was there any? There was. Oh my gosh. I called all those shocking twists before the book was even out.
Deep down, I was hoping that this would prove me wrong, but sadly, I remain right. This is the most overrated piece of crap I've ever attempted to read. I mean, do people really find this appealing? Oh well, I tried. Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. People are brutal.
That's so brutal. Like,
well,
genuinely, that has so many likes.
I think that's all I can read about this book, because this is like my favorite book. Fourth Wing.
Oh, we've read some of them before, though.
I've read some of these ones before.
But this one has a 4.64 as well. So these are very...
This is less 1-star than Akimov.
This has 5,042,930 5 stars. So that's crazy.
542,000.
Yeah. If I had $1 million for every cliche in this book, of which there are a multitude, I'd still regret spending $20 on all 498 pages of this mess. Okay, I can see.
Really?
I
wouldn't regret it, but
some people really hate how
the cliche.
But like the next book is like,
it's not.
Wow.
Really, yeah. I'm sorry, but it's a no from me. It's always a case of questioning yourself when a hyped book doesn't work for you. But I have reasons and regrets, and I want a refund of my time and money. It's a 1-star rating. I'm about to drop some truth bombs, so this is the type of book where you don't want to hear anything or any form of slander. Look away. Let me get to her problems. Wait, no, it seems fantasy romances, whether they're adult or YA, have been using the same formula these past few years, in where they focus solely on their focus solely lies on the plot and action scenes, and the same attention isn't given to the characters or the world. And I do not understand why it is that case. The balance in them always seems off. The characters, all of them, not a single one was interesting, lacked substance, background, and history. So by nature,
I can see what she means. There's not a whole lot of background. That's why I told her that I want more of a background on Violet. There's not as much, like, you know, that she's a good person and that she has a bunch of friends, you know, that she's going to this college. It kind of feels like she's a Why Your Name character. Like, you kind of are just going through the college and not her. Like, you don't know much about her. You don't know much about Xaden. You don't really know much about him in the next book either. So it's kind of like, I see what she's saying. Right. I see what she's getting at, but I wouldn't say that there's, like, no plot. Did she say there's no plot?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that there's no plot.
Yeah.
Is that what she just said? I don't want to be wrong.
She said the characters are, like, one-dimensional.
I can see that. I can see what she means.
She says the plot and action scenes is, like, solely the focus.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I think for the first book it makes sense. Once you read the next book, you're like, oh, I see why we were focusing on action and just, like, small stuff in the world.
Yeah.
The characters were being killed off left and right and center, and the only thing I felt was nothing. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's the point. Enemies to lovers, where, please? This trope was just used in the most juvenile way. You could argue that the romance itself was juvenile. It continues to be. That is my gripe with the book. So I fail to understand why this was sold as a fantasy romance. I can't tell you why these two liked each other, let alone love. True. There was no development of genuine romantic feelings. There was a buildup of attraction and supposed sexual tension.
I completely
agree.
True.
It feels very lust heavy.
It's well in the next book.
The thing that bugged me is that we only got Violet's perspective.
Same. I have all these same gripes, so I still really... I enjoyed reading it, though. It was a fun time.
It said, who had a gun to the head of everyone who rated this 5 stars?
I threw it on.
Dang!
That has
the next
almost 3,000 likes.
The next one says, Xaden wears skinny jeans. Does he wear skinny jeans or like tight leather? They're flight leathers for drag. Oh my gosh. I could see where people are upset.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I understand. Next one.
I want to see One Dark Window. I think this is a great book. I think it was written so well, and I just want to know.
It has a 4.34. Hey, these are good.
It's not bad, yeah. This person said DNF at page 205. I'm sorry I can't with this book. I wanted to love it so bad. The more I tried, the more it disappointed me. The writing had no emotion. The world building and the plot did not make much sense to me. I was confused. It is a confusing plot, but once you get it, it's fun. The characters were boring and I don't like anyone. Oh my gosh.
I haven't read it, so I don't know, but damn.
I have 2 reviews, a constructive one and a silly one. I'm sorry, I can't get over the name Raven. The name is just too silly. I'm keeping with Blender. All of their names are based on trees and stuff, so I don't know, whatever. Don't most fantasies take a name, like say Raven, and put a Y or something in it and make it look more fantasy?
Yes. Someone who adores the Highwayman, who's memorized the entire poem when she was 8 years old. Wow. And can still reel it off. This is very disappointing. Wait, how does that correlate?
The Highwayman's a poem in the book.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of based, I think it's based around this poem.
Anyway. I don't know. Okay. Honestly, this book is just so boring. The depictions are so bland. The cover and blurb give the impression that it is atmospheric. Perhaps even slightly creepy novel, steeped into violence and magic and romance. But everything is described in such flat terms and has totally failed to hold my interest. DNF about 2% in.
This person said DNF 33%.
DNF,
Next one, DNF, slow, boring pace. I didn't get what it was advertised to be.
Way too much repetition in this book, aka the main guy always had a smile tugging at his face, like freaky manic, and the nightmare's voice was always slick with oil. The oil always was meant.
I didn't notice this as much. Like maybe that was used
30 times.
Over 30 times. You have to.
I felt like I was drinking vegetable oil or something. I wanted to die. Every character lacked development and personality, and I can only tell you 2 things about the setting: mist and trees. That's all. I guess this book wasn't completely useless. I learned the names of 488 to whatever tree species. That's a funny review. I want to like.
Wow, that was pretty funny. But I mean, if it's
Like
not for you, it's
oil,
not for
that's
you.
so funny. Next one, Queen of Shadows, which I have read and she has not. This has a 4.58.
That's the plot of the
Okay, let's see.
Which is usually common with books that are
Oh my
further
God.
into a series.
Okay, let's see. When my sister told me about an early review that promised really bad things happening to our favorite characters in this installment, I didn't care. I didn't actually think that it was true. I trusted S.J. Moss. But oh dear, nothing could have prepared me for what I was to face the moment I picked up this damn book. With this review, I'm putting these books down and getting some needed rest. I think we all deserve it after dealing with Aelin and the author's bullshit. Am I right? Now let's get down to business. I think what bothers me the most about QSO, I don't know what that means.
Queen of
Queen
Shadows.
of Shadows, sorry, I'm an idiot. Is that the sort of closure, is that this, oh, oops.
Nope.
I know Rowan is hot and has amazing fighting skills, and his body been formed by centuries of war and blah 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 blah. He acted like he was a member of Jersey Shore. Everything was an excuse for him to be shirtless. I don't even remember him being shirtless that often.
When you like something, you put blinders on.
And the way he and Aeon acted around, I know, that was so fucking stupid. The way they acted, Aeon and Rowan, like, he's been so excited. I can't even go into it because it's a spoiler. But it pissed me off. I was like so cringed out with her cousin, with Aeon. I could not. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. Yeah. It was like watching a pissing contest. Guys, Selena made it through the 3 damn books without you. I'm pretty sure Aelin can take care of herself. Back the fuck up. I completely 1000% agree. Oh my god, they were annoying.
Next book.
The Love Hypothesis. Okay, you can read this one.
Okay. I don't know what kind of drugs you're on, but I evidently did not receive my portion. Maybe Manvi is right and I really just hate popular books, but this was just not good. The pure agony of having to read this. Yes, I was held at gunpoint and forced to finish it. Do not ask questions. I am not allowed to talk about it. It was just plain boring. She didn't care about the couples. The whole spiel about Adam being this huge asshole, when in reality, he A, wasn't, and B, was actually right in that one specific instance. It was just doing his job of raising good future scientists by giving them pointers on how to do good research. And yet, I had to sit through that whole drama of, bruh, how dare you date that mean professor? And who made you... who actually made me work on my dissertation?
A fucking giant. He has muscles. I get it. His fingers are massive and his dick
huge,
is great.
Enormous. You didn't have to tell me every paragraph, though. So, that's a common theme with Ellie Hazelwood.
I know I have shit memory, but I do not.
Oh.
But I'm not close to dementia yet. Once or twice would have been enough. Like,
Dang.
what do you want me to do? Shall I applaud him?
I'm blocking everyone who said this book was good on Book Talk. Agony is over.
So I give this a chance, but from the beginning this was bad in my opinion. Adam is a well-known ass. Is repeated 10 times just
in the first 4 chapters.
Damn.
Show no tell, people. Also, he wasn't an ass, actually. Opposite. So that was the point. This isn't Grumpy Sunshine, so stop spreading misinformation. This is boring times annoying.
That's so funny.
Wow.
I kind of agree. I mean, like, but it was just a fun time to me.
I agree. Not much more to this.
That's what, like, rom-coms are supposed to be.
Though. Yeah, I don't know.
They're supposed to be overly, like, sexual and be like, oh my god, you know?
The book wasn't even overly sexual.
Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Let's see.
She doesn't have that many 1 stars. That's good.
Okay. And her book has a 4.4. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Disappointing. This book was basically just an, how do you say that?
Amalgamation.
They're too smart. I don't know. Of popular tropes. And the main character was a carbon copy of Katniss, but lacking any flaws whatsoever. I can agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like this book, I'm going to assume you A, are 11 years old, or B, spend too much time on book talk. This book doesn't even try to conceal the fact that it's a Hunger Games ripoff. You have the evil monarchy, the poor girl that gets chosen for the games. Oh, sorry, I mean the trials. She's a prodigy archer. Shocker. She has her your name moment by wearing a different dress than everyone else. Very original idea. But and throughout the trials, you get medicine packs and other fun stuff to help you out. Apparently, the author has described this book as like the Hunger Games and Red Queen had a child, but it doesn't resemble either of their parents. What was that? Doesn't resemble either of the parents. Sure, I dropped Red Queen after book 1 since it was bad. So I don't know to what extent Powerless is inspired by it. You have 2 princes and let's say a love triangle, I guess. I get what she means. I understand. It's not like
another thing.
It's a very but it was fun to read for me.
Oof.
That's crazy.
Oof.
That's so funny. Boy, you sound so damn good.
Next book is Divine Rivals. I think this book is great.
And it has a 4.26.
And I have only 800 one-star reviews. Only thing I'm going to say is my guess is the 1 stars are going to be, it was boring. Okay. First one. She writes letters like I did when I was heartbroken at 13 over a Minecraft boyfriend. Damn. It was about her brother. Damn.
That's so funny.
World building? I don't know her. I feel like this is not a fantasy novel that needs world building, honestly. DNF at 57%. I feel like I've read a completely different book than everyone else. Great concept here, done poorly. Lack of world building. What is with this? It's not this fantasy world. Oh my gosh. Expecting it. People were talking about it, comparing it to Fourth Wing, and how they were like, what's the word? Like on par together. So I went into it with low expectations because I'm like, nothing's better than Fourth Wing. But I was happily surprised. It's nothing like Fourth Wing, no. But once I realized that, I was like, oh, this is a good book. And I don't like young adult, and I didn't feel as young adult as other young adults. Throne of Glass.
There's going to be so much more. I know it.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be really out-of-pocket shit. That's a 4.1 average.
I have to agree. It's really not that great.
I mean, you haven't even read fully yet.
I'm 51% in. Still, it's just so boring.
Are you kidding me? What the hell is this shit? How do you screw up your story so badly after starting from an incredible premise involving the most notorious assassin in the land, now a slave, being ordered the chance to win back her freedom?
Offer.
Sort of in the to the death tournament, fighting the most gifted thieves and assassins in the land, says the back of my book, conveniently forgetting that right after the final duels, the king specifically states that the competitors can win only by trapping their opponent in a position sure of death and no further. So to the death my foot. And B, apart from the thieves and assassins, a number of the competitors are actually ex-guards and random other criminals. For the most part, disposable enough not to warrant so, yeah, true. And I only consider a small handful of them to be gifted anything. I mean, you really have to be talented to get from all of that exciting sounding awesomeness to, well, Throne of Glass.
After reading Assassin's Blade, it is kind of a letdown. I think that's why it's hard to push her. I don't even think Assassin's Blade was that great, but it was kind of better than this. Oof. Oof. It says it's a Cinderella retelling. So she's kind of got a common theme.
How is it Cinderella retelling?
That's what it says. She said it was a Cinderella retelling.
How? Do I just not know Cinderella?
I guess being like the poor lady girl brought in to be with a prince with a twist, you know? Characters were badly written. The plot was full of telling instead of showing. Very underwhelmed after hearing for years this is the YA series to read. Yeah, I agree. Once again, it seems like I'm in the minority for this book because I didn't like it. It's such a shame too because I heard a lot of good stuff about it. Oh well, maybe that's just me. Maybe just because the book plain sucks. Let's start off with our protagonist, Selena, who's the greatest assassin in the world. Okay, I'm cool with that. But it'd be nice if she could actually prove it because Of what I've seen, she's once hell of a crappy assassin. She's one hell of a crappy assassin. People walk in and out of her room all the time when she's sleeping, and she just keeps on snoring. Hello, aren't you supposed to spring awake like
That's
a ninja?
what I thought all the time. I was like,
that's what I expect from someone who's just left a death camp. Oh my gosh, Iron Flame. This book is not perfect. I don't even think it's as good as Fourth Wing. So
it's a 4.54.
I'm ready to see the one-star reviews.
Violet somehow had to
to shave her coochie while at war. We must have glossed over that.
No,
this is a DNF at page 125. I decided not to read this book. You're missing nothing. I can't believe this trash got approved for 5 books. Rebecca Yarros, literally, what more do you have to say? It was a long book. The entire feel of this book is still juvenile as F. Like the YA trappings, except they fuck nonstop. Not nonstop, but when they do, it's in the wrong time.
Thank you.
Let's not forget to mention, it's all my fault. Everything's my fault. All that is wrong in the world is all my fault. For real, shut the fuck up. The world building, again, isn't very fleshed out. I disagree, it's more fleshed out.
Miscommunication, jealousy, and insecure galore. Thank you! That's what I'm saying.
The jealousy, insecurity part, that was kind of explained, but the miscommunication, or the, what's it called? The will they won't they.
I agree with her. The pacing is off. The beginning, I felt...
didn't give enough. The middle was slog, and everything but the kitchen sink is thrown at you so fast. Everything but the kitchen... when you're baking, they say that. Okay. Everything but the kitchen sink is thrown at you so fast and hard at the end. Like, what? It's true. It kind of gives you, like... ugh.
Oh, if I could erase one series from this world, it would be this one. Nothing original, badly written with bland characters and romance. The way she had written the main girl, like, she needs to be violent, under the threat of violence. Her nickname, by the way.
Gosh.
Oh my god. And people are dying on the page. And she's horny, which is
something that Rebecca does in her books. Also, I'm positive this is an industry plant series. So I'm interested if this book is going to get booted in rating like the first one. Read anything else besides this? Oh my gosh. Wow. This person said, I hate pitting women against each other over a man. I hate the pacing of this book, and I hate the absolute lack of communication. Okay. Character conflict and interaction in this book is so uncompelling.
I get it.
That's what I'll say. I get that. Okay, last one. Love in Other Words. I'm not the biggest fan of this book. Lily's a big fan of this book, so I'm excited to see where we come out in the middle.
It has a 4.29.
That feels really high. Is my review on here? I don't think I gave it 1 star.
This book was just not for me, I think. This wasn't the kind of second chance romance that I like. I like a lot more angst and longing, and this book didn't have that. I feel like the boyfriend was just there to keep the story going and kept them apart. Also, the reason they stopped talking was poorly written to the fact that it kind of disgusts me. I think the love story was cute, but I wasn't an absolute favorite of mine, for me.
He just kept showing up to her job, too. Like, once he knew she was there, just showing up everywhere.
Favorite word? He whispers, you.
Wait, was that the last word of the book?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Oh, wow.
That's funny. Super pissed that this didn't work for me. I feel cheated. I read the blurb and everything.
They've known each other since forever, and when we finally fall in love in the trope, is usually a slam dunk for me. Also, my recent record with CL has been superb, but this, ugh. I empathize with her losses. All of them sucked and sucked balls. No one should have to go through all of that. I also realize that people handle loss in their own way, and when a person loses a parent at such a young age, it has a lasting impact on them and the trajectory of their development. I hand it to CL on their characterization, and it stays true tonally throughout. The problem was, I did not like her. There are times to rein it in and bite your tongue, and then there are times you need to put your big girl socks on and use your words. Oh my gosh, yeah. Literally everything could have been solved with one conversation.
It took me so long to finish this, and I honestly didn't enjoy it at all. What bothers me the most is that what happened to Elliot is just overlooked. So disappointing. Last book I'm going to read from these authors. I agree, because if we're going to go that way, then we need to talk about it more.
It's the way he left his girlfriend immediately after seeing her. How delusional.
That's crazy.
And you don't even know if this woman wants to speak to you again, do with you again. Not that I'm putting this in, but it is kind of just... I don't know.
That's all.
Okay. Let's say our goodbyes.
That was such a quick video about like.
It was not. This video has been already 20 and the other one was 29.
Damn.
Okay, this was so much fun.
This was crazy, man.
Some of these I agree with. It's not going to make
I feel
me
like
change
most of
my
them
rating.
because like you just have to look at the funny parts in books. Like that's like it's just words on paper. It's not that serious, you know. And I really appreciate that people put review. I think it's just funny to look at. Like imagine you wrote a book and you just want to be humbled. That'd be so funny.
I want to write a book and I'm scared of getting bad reviews.
Really, people can burn it. Whatever they say when you publish the book, when it goes out, it's no longer your book. They can rip it, burn it, set it on fire, like just whatever.
You just can't please everyone in this world.
That's just
and
so
the stuff
funny.
that I choose to look over, yeah.
People don't.
Yeah, people don't.
But some people really love, you know. And people are just very different. It shows you how different people's book opinions are. And I love to learn about it. I think it's so funny.
I do too. It was fun. Okay.
But thank you for watching today's video.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. And we'll see you in the next video.
All that jazz. Bye!